Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G. It's time to review the latest horror movie starring Tony Todd in Devilreaux. Oh boy.
Don't fuck with them hoes.
Now, Devilreaux is a 2023 American horror film. It was directed by Thomas C. Churchill. It was written by Thomas C. Churchill and Vincent M. Ward. Now, the film stars Tony Todd, Kristen G. Saxton, Moya Moyers, and Vincent M. Ward. Now, for this film, a series of murders back in the 1800s will be avenged by a forbidden voodoo woken up accidentally by a group of teenagers. Really now? That's the premise you guys came up with this one? Oh boy. You guys are going to love this one. Now, guys, since I've started my YouTube channel here on YouTube, I've seen some bad horror movies. So I would say so far in the past 5 or 6 years. I mean, even before I started my YouTube channel, I've seen a whole bunch of bad horror films. You know, whether the script was bad, the acting was flat or stiff, or the movie was just plain boring, or it just wasn't what it's supposed to be. I mean, there are plenty of reasons why I believe a horror film is bad. Now, some of the examples of some of the bad horror films I've seen throughout my years is, then I've also reviewed on the channel, you know, Slender Man, The Apparition, Devil's Due, The Bye-Bye Man, The Requiem, and Jeepers Creepers Reborn. You know, all those films are just some bad horror films. Not that the movie, like it wasn't poorly made, and maybe Jeepers Creepers Reborn was, but mainly all those things have in common is that they are just bad horror films. However, while those horror films may be bad, I believe I've just seen a horror movie that is worse than any of those films. And that comes from American writer-director Thomas J. Churchill, and that's Devilreaux. Oh boy, this is bad. Now, the first problem I have with this film is its premise, because I believe there isn't one, or one that I can't explain, because how this film is structured. The worst thing you can do in any type of film is if the film has no structure, and Devilreaux has no structure. Now, the best thing I can figure out is that there is a curse that was placed by a voodoo priestess back during the 1800s after her son, Devilreaux, was killed by some white men who believed he was assaulting a white woman. Of course, he wasn't, but he gets, they get stirred up, and next thing you know, he's dead. And of course, the voodoo priestess, his mother, brings him back to life. Now, in the present, we have a group of teenagers who decide to have a party at the same house where this took place back in the 1800s, and after using a Ouija board, they accidentally summon Devilreaux, and he goes on a killing spree. Yeah, that's the best what I could come up with. Now, I have to believe this is the movie that Thomas J. Churchill and his writing partner, Vincent M. Ward, who actually stars the movie as Devilreaux, was trying to tell here in this movie. But I don't know what they thought they were doing in this particular film. Maybe it looked great on paper, but it was executed very poorly. Like I said, this isn't what we get here. As I stated before, this film simply has no structure. There is no flow. There is simply a bunch of scenes put together that will drive the audience crazy. Because I was saying to myself, what's going on here? Where's the suspense? Where's the action? What's going on here? I don't know what I'm watching here. Now, I have nothing against flashbacks as long as they provide a means of exploring a character's background or origin. Sometimes we have to have flashbacks. Again, it depends upon who's telling the story or how the story is being told. I've seen horror movies where we start off with the beginning where we see a survivor, and then we go back to find out what happened to the events in the past. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's very good filmmaking. However, the flashback we get in telling Devilreaux's backstory takes up almost 40, maybe even 45, maybe a whole hour in a movie that's barely 88 minutes long. And another problem is during the flashback, it is long and drawn out. There's no changes, no suspense needed in a scene like this. If you're trying to tell a backstory about a person that is obviously was done wrong, then you want to make sure that you're making the audience, feel sorry for this guy. But we don't get that in this film. The main problem is for some reason Thomas doesn't or can't get the actors to emote anything, as they come off very flat, dull, and emotionless. And big, huge problem is I don't know what he was trying to do here, But these people, they have the worst Southern accents that I've seen before. It's not like they're not even trying. It's like they're just reading off prompt cards. While the actress who plays Devilreaux's mother shows some emotions, and then we have Krista G. Saxon. She tries her best playing the lieutenant in this film. Thomas's script doesn't allow them to add anything to their characters. It just there just to look. I guess obviously for Kristen, she's there to look pretty because she's an attractive woman, and that's that. There's nothing in these characters. They don't do anything to give these characters any life, any emotion, anything to make the audience care about them. Because unfortunately, that's maybe due to the script, and maybe because of the actresses, they're just not talented enough to pull it off. And I don't even want to talk about the teenagers as they barely get any screen time, despite the fact that many people will believe that they are the focal point in the movie. I mean, the movie starts off with a so-called survivor after the events that took place, and we think that's going to be the focal point of the film, but it's not. They start up with that, and then we get the teenagers, but that's barely 10 minutes in the film. Now, I have nothing against a filmmaker who uses a star to promote their movie, even if their star is barely in the movie, such as the case with Tony Todd in this film. Now, I don't know if he knew Tony Todd or he asked Tony Todd for a favor, and Tony Todd decided to agree to be with the film. But I'm not going to say he's not the focal point in the film. He does has a presence in the film. He's sort of part of the plot, as far as what I can say without spoiling anything. But what can I say? Now, as far as the film's villain Devereaux is concerned, he has to be the dullest killer I ever seen in a horror movie. Come on, guys, this is a horror movie. You want to at least make the horror person be scary, not even scary, vicious, violent. He's none of those things. I mean, no offense to Vincent M. Ward, but he doesn't give Devereaux any life. He comes off like a bad impersonation of Papa Shango. I'd rather have Charles Wright play this character. He would have done a better job than Vincent M. Wright. If people who don't know what Papa Shango was, watch old WWE films. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, his kills are dull. He doesn't present any type of fear or threat. He's just simply there to look threatening, but he isn't. What can you say? And speaking of the kills, they're done with some quick editing, meaning Thomas obviously did not have the budget to do some decent practical effects. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's like I've seen Wild Eye films from Wild Eye where obviously the budget was less than this film was, and they do better practical effects than what Thomas did here. Now, I haven't seen any movies that Thomas J. Churchill has directed and or written, but for this one, oh gosh, oof, it's a terrible effort with some bad acting, a flat script, dull kills, and no life whatsoever. Like I said, very bad structure, no suspense, no tensions, a boring killer. It's just there, and that's it. Now, I really give out at least all 5 of my bloody gold coins. I've done it practically maybe at least 2 or 3 times since I've changed over to this ranking in my videos. And I really don't like giving out films, any of my 5 bloody gold coins, because I know as a filmmaker, especially independent filmmakers, I know very hard it is to get films done. But when you come up with stuff like this, where you're not even trying and what you have here, then you deserve to get none. Yep, nothing. Zip, you get nothing. A big fat 0. My bloody gold coins. This is a terrible movie. Like I said before, I've seen plenty of bad films in my lifetime and plenty of bad films since I started this channel, but this one takes the cake because this is just a very poorly executed, badly made film. So there you have it. That is my video and review of Devilreaux. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, have you seen Devilreaux? Did you hate it as much as I did? No, I won't say hate. Did you think it is bad as I thought I did? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rules. And I'll see you in my next video. You guys stay safe out there.